Hello and welcome to a new video, and a long overdue video it is. So first of all, my name is Amber, in case you forgot, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And before I get into anything else, I just want to say I just reached 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I am just so grateful. And I just want to say thank you to every single person who has subscribed and who has watched my videos so far. So just want to get into things today before I chicken out and decide that I don't want to do it. So it's been about a month, I think, since I last made a video, and it's many reasons really. June is always a really busy month for me. I have my birthday and lots of work going on, like not artwork, real life work, always going on in June. Me and my husband have a festival we go to every year, Download Festival. And in between all that time, I have just been experimenting with a new art style. So this is why I wanted to make this video first before I go into any other videos. And I think next week I might do a little art haul of all the things I got for my birthday. But before I do that, I want to talk you through what I've been up to and show you all the artwork I've been doing in my sketchbook. So it's kind of going to be like a sketchbook and art tour today. Not a full sketchbook tour, just since I've been experimenting with this new art style. So over the past few years, I have gone into so many different art styles, and I've gone down so many different rabbit holes with art. And the latest thing is abstract art, specifically watercolour abstract art. And I don't know why this came over me all of a sudden, why I wanted to try this out, but I just felt like I was wanting more, something more than what I was doing. And I think I'm finding it in abstract art at the moment. I'm having a lot of fun, and when I show you the paintings, I will explain it all to you a lot more. But where was I going? I don't know. I think I might just get into the actual tour. I suppose that's where I was. I haven't planned any of this video. I just thought, right, you're sitting down today, Amber, and you're making a damn YouTube video, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to show you the artwork that I've been doing, talk all about it and the materials I've been using and everything. And then at the end, I have got some half finished in a sketchbook project that I'm working on at the moment. And I thought it might be fun to do a little time lapse at the end and just leave you with like a time lapse of the art that I'm making at the minute. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're gonna go now. So I shall see you in a sec. Okay, so let's get on with this little tour. I'm really excited to show you everything I've been working on, and even though I haven't been making any videos, I have been doing lots of art. All my spare time really, I've just been wanting to do art. So we're going to start off from top to bottom in my cherished little art creations sketchbook. I think I'm about halfway through this one now, and although the first half is full of drawings and paintings of actual things and experiments, of course, so much experimenting in this sketchbook. The second half of the sketchbook so far is just abstract mess. So let me get all of this out of the way. So I've not only got sketchbooks to show you today, but I've also got some like loose paper and where should I put this? One second. Yeah, so I've also got some like loose paper paintings to show you. First time I've worked on any actual paper for a long time. So around this sort of time in my sketchbook, I was starting to feel a bit lost and a bit bored of all the art I was creating. So we get to these mushrooms and I'm experimenting with gouache and neocolour, and I just remember painting these and thinking, I'm so bored. Like I don't even know whether I shared them on my Instagram or anything like that. I just thought I'm just so bored of the art that I'm doing, and I fancy just not following reference photos for a bit, you know. Sometimes I get so lost on reference photos that I want to draw from, I end up spending most of my time looking at photos and then not even enjoying the process of the art. So I don't know what came over me, and this was the 31st of May. But I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to splash some paint on this paper and see what happens. And I really, really enjoyed it. And this wasn't really following any sort of colour palette or anything like that. This was just putting paint on the paper and seeing what happened. And I put some here, and then I closed the book, and oh, spoilers. Yeah, and I closed the book, and then we had like a pattern on both sides. And so this is gouache and Posca pen. So this is where it all starts. And then we go into my June colour palette challenge. I done one for June, and then I got myself in such a funny little funk with my art that I decided not to do one for July, because obviously I've been really busy. I was working at the beginning of July, and I just didn't really have time to make one. So I thought I'm going to rethink the colour palette challenge, and I'm going to come back at the beginning of August. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you should go do that, and maybe we can all join in on a challenge together. So this is one of my favourite paintings I've done actually for a long time. I really love it. I love the colours, and this is where I started experimenting a bit more with the abstracts and trying to incorporate it into like my normal art. So we can obviously see what this is. It's a beach with a little house, and I incorporated a little bit of collage into this with the clouds and the little circles to add like an abstract element, and also like the rocks on here with neo colour. So I really liked this one, and this got me really excited. So then we go to the next page. Oh, by the way, the prompt was turquoise waters, so I thought a beach would be great. This prompt was tangerine orange, and I started off by doing the tangerines and the leaves, and then I thought I wanted to incorporate a bit of collage and a bit of abstract into all of the paintings for this challenge. So here's the collage. A bit of pointless collage in the corner there, just to add it in. And then I started just playing with some marks, and I did quite like this. I liked the colours and everything, but this is where like my frustration started to grow. Right, so that's the second. And then I didn't do any painting for quite a while actually. I don't know why. I don't think I experimented in any of my other sketchbooks. This was download festival in between this time, so that's like a week that I don't do any art. But this is the next two prompts. So we've got grape jelly and evergreen forest. And by the way, this is the first time I've actually videoed what I'm doing and talked at the same time. So if I sound a bit stressed, that's probably why. Normally I like to do voiceovers with everything, with all my videos, because it's just much more chill. But I just thought today this might be fun, and it's like I'm actually hanging out with you, so, and showing you what I've got. This is I don't really know what this is or what's going on, but this is everything I want my abstracts not to be. Okay, so this is why sketchbooks are so good, because you can draw and practice and experiment, and you learn everything you don't like and everything you do like. So here I just like got little bits out of a magazine and stuck them in, and just did some marks and some mess, and I played with some stencils in the background there, and yeah, I mean, you know, this is what it is. And then this is like, I don't know. Anyways, we move on to the next page. Now, the pages that are here are watercolour paper stuck onto my sketchbook pages, because I have this problem where I don't know when enough is enough. And underneath this, I wish I would have took a picture or something so I could show you. It just turned into total mud and I didn't want to look at it. And it's the first time I've actually been like this in this sketchbook. And I just thought, you know what? Because what I was trying to do was do the challenge all the way through my sketchbook, all the way through these pages. So I wanted them all to be in a row. And this challenge was lemon drop. And I tried to do it on both of these pages, and it looked nothing like lemon drop. It just looked like muddy rubbish. So I decided to stick these pages in, and these were not much better, but I started to see a bit of a difference in like what I want to do and what I don't want to do. So I tried out a few little marks and stuff with my abstract art. I tried out some colour palettes. So this one was sandy beige, this one is lemon drop. Both don't, now that I look at them, don't really suit what I wanted, but I like this spiral. I like the stars. I really like, you see how like the watercolour breaks there from the brush mark. I really like that. And all of this is just pure. I thought like when you do abstract, like the messier and the more paint and marks you can put on the paper overlapping each other, the better. Well, I was wrong. So yes, here we are. So this is when I decided to give up on my challenge, my June challenge. So I got like halfway through and I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. So then I had a bit of time away again. It was my birthday. And this is now where I start to understand a little bit more what it is that I want to do. And I went and done a couple of Skillshare classes. I've been really inspired by Denise Love, for one, on Skillshare and YouTube. She does amazing classes for abstract watercolours, and I've just been really inspired by her. So you should definitely check her out if you want to also get inspired by some abstract art. But hers does not look like this. Here I was just... So actually, let's talk about the colour cube. I was getting so overwhelmed by trying to pick my own colours and my own colour palettes that obviously we was getting artwork like this, yeah? So it was just looking like a mess. And I would say that I'm pretty good at picking colours and colour palettes, and I sort of know which colours work good together and stuff, but when it come into abstracts, I was all over the place. So I've been using my colour cube a lot recently. These are just some palettes I pulled aside because I asked you guys to vote on Instagram which colour palette I should use for my next painting. And if you're on Instagram and you follow me on there, you will have seen most of this artwork that I'm about to show you anyways. But if you're not and you're just here on YouTube, then well, here we are. So yeah, this is the latest colour palette that I've been playing with, and I love these because I pick a colour palette, or I get my mum or my husband to pick me a colour palette, and then I go through all my art supplies, I pick some colours out, and then I just paint. So once I've picked my colours out, I don't really go back and pick any more. I just use the colours that I've picked out that match on here. So it makes for the decision making to be much easier for me when I'm creating, and that's another nice thing. Another thing I'm loving about this is, and what I love about these colour cards, so these are the Colour Cube by Sarah Renee Clark, and I love that there is no screens involved. I mean, you can find colour palettes online, on Pinterest and all of that, but I really love how these are a box with cards in. I'm a very analog girl, and I think that's what I mean, analog. Anyways, I love a book, I love cards, I love paper. I'd much prefer to not be on a screen, and so that's what the colour cards do for me. So yeah, here we're starting to experiment with some colour palettes. I don't know what this was, but it was a colour palette. This one, like, I've been writing down in the corners the colour palettes I've been experimenting with. So you can already see It's a little bit cleaner anyways, but it's so much more like cohesive than this. And I've been playing with some stencils. This is another colour palette from Colour Cube 1. So this is colour palette 205 from that box. So if I write it down, then it'll be a lot easier for me to pick them again in the future. There we are. So colour palette 205. And here I was experimenting with some little black lines. This is what the artist Denise Love does a lot in her artwork, in her abstracts, and I just love it. I think it looks so delicate and pretty, and I was excited to play with this style more. So that's what I mean by the colour palettes. This was a different one, so Colour Cube 602, nope, 062. This is a really unusual colour palette for me. My husband chose it for me. And I think he's trying to tell me something like, you use too many purples. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I just love everything about this. I mean, not the exact artwork, but I love a couple of the marks, like the little vine that I did here, and this mark here with black alcohol, black acrylic ink. And yeah, I just think that here is where I'm starting to get to kind of where I want to be. So I'm going to leave them two out because I need to show you them again in a minute. This is an absolute mess. Another colour palette I was experimenting with, but I just sort of put it all down on the paper and closed the book. And this little sketchbook now is like not necessarily for finished pieces, but more for like this. This is a real finished piece in here, but it's just not where I'm at anymore. Maybe I'll come back to this sort of style. Maybe I'll incorporate this sort of style into abstracts in the future, but here's where I am right now. Oh dear. This is just experimenting with a few marks and with a colour palette that I was playing with. And another just page of mess. I was kind of following a reference photo of some mountains here with trees, and I was going to go in and define it all a little bit more, but I decided I was done with this. And oh, here we go. This is a little plein air trip I did when I went to the pub one day in June. And I think, oh, apart from this one, so this is this colour palette that I'm working on right now. So I did this one the other day. And I just thought, why am I not happy with any art that I create? It's the truth. I'm never happy with anything, and I always feel like I want more, or I need to do more, or I'm just, what I do is just not good enough for me, for myself. And I guess that's why we practice and we keep going. But this one isn't. But in a minute, I'm going to show you something that I've done that I feel very proud of and I'm very excited about. So that's this sketchbook. I'll pop all these back in later. I like to put the loose paper in just to protect my pages, but I don't even know why I bother with that anymore. Okay, so that's that sketchbook. Next up, this is just quick. I'm going to show you this one. So this is, oh, did I say that was the Art Creation sketchbook? This and the pink one was also, they're both Art Creations sketchbooks. So in here, this is when I first played with a bit of abstract. I put super thick gouache on the paper and just went a bit crazy really, and you can see like I just don't know what I'm doing. But I remember this was the end of May as well. I remember just being like, wow, I can't believe what I've created here. I'm so excited. Like this felt like I was on the cusp of something very new and exciting. So what the WTF did I just do? So then I tried to play with a bit more cohesive colour palettes, and I soon realised that gouache and acrylic gouache, this one's acrylic gouache, I think these are normal gouache, and Posca pens, and my dog choking in the background. I soon realised that gouache is not what I want. Okay, so I've realised recently that I am a watercolour girl at heart. I always go back to my watercolours, and I probably always will. I feel like watercolour, coloured pencil, and that now all these different mark making tools that I've got, like I've collected a few Posca pens in this cute tin and acrylic inks, and my excuse me, my new favourite watercolours are the Kuretake watercolours, or the Gansai Tambi watercolours. I've got these ones from the shop Choosing Keeping. That'll be in my excuse me, that'll be in the art haul that I share with you next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, if all the footage is okay, because I had a bit of problems with my camera that week. But yeah, I don't know whether these are the same as the Gansai Tambi, like the Art Nouveau set that you can buy, but they pretty much are. I just don't know whether they're the same, like, exact brand or something. But yes, I'm loving these watercolours at the moment, and I've got a few sets of those that I've been playing with. This was just testing out some Neo colours, and here we go again with, I had, oh yeah, in one of those sets, it's a really, really vibrant neon orange colour, and I loved it, and I just wanted to play with it. And some stencils again, but this is just play, this is nothing in particular. So that's all for this sketchbook. This video is going on a lot longer than I anticipated, but that's okay. This sketchbook is, so I work in multiple sketchbooks, like especially with this style, because you put your marks down and watercolour down, and then you want to wait for it all to dry before you go and put more layers on top. So I started this sketchbook in May. So this is a Strathmore mixed media sketchbook. I love this, by the way. I really like the soft cover, and I like the thickness and the texture of the pages. It's really fun. So this is a treat. Look, I'm doing a full sketchbook tour, a sketchbook tour now, and it's not what I wanted to do. So we're going to skip that. More experiments with a certain colour palette. I didn't write the colour palette down here, but we used a bit of shimmer. I'm loving like shimmery pearlescent paints at the moment. That's really fun. This is gouache. Could be acrylic gouache or normal, I'm not sure, but different to what I'm doing now. This is watercolour, so don't know what's going on here. Colour Cube 205, so it's that one again. Doesn't look like I really added any purple in here, but it's just for inspiration. It doesn't need to be exact, it's just pick some colours out and go. So this was like in between experimenting with sort of people's styles on YouTube and Skillshare, and there is a few other artists that I've been really inspired by, but I honestly can't think of their names right now. It might be Alison Durant, and she does the art poetry cards, the art poetry deck, and her art is just so inspiring and beautiful. So I'll link them in the description so you can go and check them out yourself. But her art is nothing like this. This is madness. This is like a circus to me, and not what I want to be doing. But the good thing is, with all of these arts and sketches and just, you know, experiments, is you can look back through and think like, oh, I actually really like that part of this. Like, I like this blue with the silver sort of bricks in there. It looks like clouds to me. I love these dots. I really like these little what are they, like dash marks? I really like those all the way around. So yeah, I like this, and that's it for this sketchbook. So right, next up is these loose papers. I hope you're still with me. If you're still here with me, let me know in the comments, and like let me know what you think of all the art so far, because that'd be interesting. So this is quite a long video compared to what I usually do, but at least I don't have to sit down and voice over all of this now. It's already done. Okay, so here are some little loose pieces of paper that I cut and put side by side and experimented with another colour palette. So again, colour palette 205, that is this one. So I'll pop that there so you can see it. This I didn't finish because I didn't like it, and I just thought I just couldn't be bothered to finish it. This one, but then I've kept it because there's parts that I really like. So I love how the watercolour breaks like this. I think that's awesome. And this is done with the pink is so vibrant and bright because it's the what is it? This will also be in that art haul. The Dr. P.H. Martin's Radiant Concentrated Watercolour. I really love this. It's so vibrant. Okay, so yeah, I like the little birds. I love this. I love here because it kind of looks like trees in the mountains or something. So, and then I put this blue in and I ruined it, and I don't know when to stop. Same with this one. I think that was supposed to be like that. I was trying to do like mountain sort of marks, and then I put this gold in and smushed it all over the place and ruined that one. But this is why it's fun to do lots together. So like I've taped like 3 or 4 pieces down at once, and then do some work on one, do some work on another, and there's always one that's your favourite and there's always one that is not your favourite. These 3 I put side by side and I done them, and I quite enjoy these actually. Everyone except I'm not that keen on this one, but I do like the gold here, and with this the black pen here, it kind of looked like I'm losing my words now. It kind of looks like a like hot air balloon or something. I don't know, what do you think? Love this one. That's the way. I mean, this is a thing as well, like when you've finished, you could put it any sort of way and see which way it looks best. So I like this one because of this writing, which I've recently learned is called asemic writing or asemic writing, and it's basically just writing that looks like writing, but it's nothing really. But you can hide little hidden words in there, which is quite fun. And I don't mind this one. This is very interesting too, but still not where I envisioned my, like, I wasn't overly, this is not exactly where I want my abstract art to go or what I want it to be. It's too much. And these are also too much, but these I was very happy with. So I taped 4 pieces down, 4 pieces of paper down like this, and then I worked on them all at once. So did I write down the colour palette? First abstract play. So perhaps these came, I think these came before those little ones that I showed you. Yeah, I don't know which colour palette I used for these. I can't remember exactly. But I really like this one. I love the colours. And sorry if you can hear my dog crying or tapping on the floor in the background. She wants to go out. She's only just been out, but it's because my mum and dad just came home and now she thinks she's missing out on something. So we'll just deal with her for a moment. I really like this area here. I love the stenciling, so this is fun. And this one's fun too. I quite like this. More stenciling, gold. I'm loving gold and silver at the moment. And these little crosses, I think that's cute. And then them two are okay, but they're a little bit... That one's quite grungy. That's quite cool. But always practicing and experimenting with different marks and stuff. And then this one is on the I think it's called Caddy cotton rag paper. So this is like a handmade paper. I get very messy, especially when using acrylic inks. I think I might pause this a moment and sort my dogs out. 1 second. Hello, I am back. It doesn't seem like long for you, literally just 1 second, but it's been about 2 days since I started filming this video, and my dog started barking, my husband came home, then I made dinner, and then I just haven't had time. I've got burns all over me, but here we are. My parents have a food van that we open at a car boot sale on a Sunday, and I help them every Sunday, and yes, I burnt all my hand this week, so here we are. Right, where even was I? So I was showing you this picture that I did, and I have the paper here to show you, just in case you haven't seen it before. So it's this Caddy handmade cotton rag paper, and it is 100% cotton, I believe. And it was really fun, actually, really fun to do this. A very interesting texture you get when you do watercolors on it. I obviously went way overboard again on this, so you can't even see really any of the nice watercolor texture, only up here in this corner. But I used some stencils and just some gold and some coloured pencil here, and that was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to playing with this paper some more. And then what else do I want to show you? I think all is left is... So I have two things now, finally, to show you. So I'm going to get these out of the way for a moment. So before I go into the main event, which is this sketchbook here, I'm going to show you these two paintings that I've been doing. So this is a bit different, and you'll probably be quite surprised when I open this up and show you. So here we are. These are watercolours, and I am so inspired by an artist called Anna Victoria, or Victoriana. I think it's Anna Victoria Calderon. I'll link any artists that I've mentioned in this video in the description. But her art is just so surreal and beautiful and magical, and she had a class on Skillshare, and I was just really inspired by it. I've always been inspired by her art, and I've done this magical door into another realm, and it made me really inspired. I've done this also from a colour card, the colour palette, so it's totally different to anything I've done before colour palette wise, and I love doing this one. So I sectioned the paper and I started on another one, and this one isn't actually finished yet. Just recently I really enjoy art that doesn't take long to do, and these are quite time consuming, so I got near enough there and I got so bored that I had enough, to be honest. But I will definitely go back to this because I love the colour palette, I love how it looks. Oh, actually I put these here. I actually put the colour palettes here because I knew I was going to show you in this video. So this is this colour palette. I think I did a really good job on these colours, actually. They're, apart from the blue is a little bit more blue than on here, it's a little bit more like turquoisey teal colour, but the rest of the colours definitely. And then this one I wanted to do like I'm going to do like a night sky, so I'm going to add lots of stars to this, and then it's going to be like a door into another realm in the galaxy, I suppose. But yeah, I'm loving this colour palette. But I just thought I'd show you that, even though it's unfinished at the moment. And then when I cut them, I think they'll look really cool. So this paper's good too. It's not even paper, it's like really thick, like art board, watercolour art board. It's a lot of fun to work on because your paper doesn't warp, and you can just use as much water as you want. So that's that one, and now this is the main event. So I've had this sketchbook for a little while. I do show you in the art haul, actually, if I do that for my next video. And let me just take the papers I put in here protecting it. This little sticker on the front here I got from Choosing Keeping, the art shop in London, where I got a lot of my Kuretake watercolours from. And this come on the packaging. Such beautiful packaging they use in there. But this sketchbook I have been hoarding, and I haven't wanted to use it because the same old feeling of like I'm not good enough for this sketchbook. But I have thought of a project that I want to do for myself when it comes to my abstract art. So This is a cold pressed Hannah Mueller. I don't really know how to say this. Hannah Mueller, whatever. But it's such a luxurious, beautiful sketchbook, and I really I got it for my birthday, and it really is a treat. So my plan is for this sketchbook, I've got a few pages at the front here that I've kept blank for now, and what I'm going to do is do little square boxes and do a pattern library for my abstract art. So all I have to do is look back at these pages and I'll literally have boxes of different pattern ideas. So for my mark making, which I'm really excited to do. So I've left a few pages blank, and then the whole point of this sketchbook that I want to use it for is to practice my abstract art, and I'm not going to put any pressure on myself at all. I'm just going to have fun, play, and use this whole book as a library for marks and colour palettes. So each double page spread is going to have a couple, well, in this case we've got 6 smaller studies, and then on the right page is going to be a full abstract painting. So what I'll do is use the studies to get ideas and see what I do and what I don't like, and then I will use those ideas and put them on this page to make a bigger piece. So I also want to add like lots of notes onto the left hand side page. So as I'm working, I shall add notes and like write down the things that I like and what I don't like about the smaller pieces and the colour palette and stuff. So I'll mostly use my colour cube palettes in this book, I think, but I also might make my own up, or I might get some from online. It just depends. So also what I'm going to do as well in this bottom corner is rate how much fun the colour palette is or was for me to use. So I mean, I can just look at it and see that obviously, but I just thought I want this whole book to be like a intuitive, I want to be present when I'm doing the artwork in this book, and that's why I want to add the notes, because it's going to get me to really look at my art and see what I really like about things and what I don't like about things. So this is this colour palette again, 205, so I'll write it down up here or wherever, because the other pages are a bit different. And I thought I would enjoy this colour palette a lot more, because anyone that knows me knows these are my colours. I absolutely love these colours. And by the way, you're going to hear my dogs again in the background tapping on the floor and making lots of noise, because I don't know why, they just want to torture me today and the other day as well, bless them. I have very high maintenance dogs and I've spoiled them over the years, so it probably doesn't help. But yeah, anyway, so these colours. Now the dishwasher's beeping. Whew. These colours are my colours. I absolutely love them. But when I paint with them, like in this picture, and I don't know whether this is still when I was because I was really new with abstracts, but when I painted with them, I didn't enjoy it that much. So I rated this colour palette 3 out of 5. I think I'm just bored of painting with these colours, which is something I never thought I would say. Then we go on to the second one. And I love these pages, absolutely love them. So we got Colour Cube 062, and the whole point about this sketchbook is nothing has to be perfect, and I really mean that. Even though it's my most cherished, special, probably most expensive sketchbook I've ever owned, it's for a purpose now. And I'm really happy about that. So I did 6 studies again. I love them all, especially this one. I love how that looks. I feel like it'd make a really great coaster. And I really love this one as well. I love how it's really just simple and it's got the pop of red there, and I love that. I also in this one started playing with my black acrylic ink, which I love. With the white writing on top as well. I think it just looks really, really cool. And I love how the black ink looks on top of the the watercolour as well. So I've actually just gone out to Hobbycraft because they have a 3 for 2 sale on the acrylic inks, and I've just picked up a few. So as the new obsession now is acrylic inks. So yes, this colour palette, absolutely loved it. Loved everything actually. So I rated it 5 out of 5. And that's just a bit of fun for me to do. Then we got this colour palette. So I decided to do it a little bit differently, this one, and do 4 studies because I fancy doing something a little bit bigger than these. And then this big one. So let me find the colour palette, 'cause I don't think I kept it out. So this is why this is good as well, because it's like a whole library for colour palettes. If I write them down, then I remember, and if I ever want to use them again in the future, I can. 198. Here it is. So here's the colour palette. I've probably in the big one could have used a little bit more purple, the dark purple. I only really used that here. But I had a sepia ink, which I used here. And yeah, I quite like these. They're a little bit messy, but there's so many notes all around them. I have been sharing them all on my Instagram, so if you want to go and like have a closer look and read the notes and stuff, I guess you could pause this video and have a look, or you might not even care. You might not even care what goes on in my head, but I suppose if you've made it this far into this extra long video, you probably do care a little bit. But anyways, we played with some stencils, just some mark making. I felt a little bit lost with this big one, to be honest. I wasn't quite sure on the marks that I wanted to be doing, but loved the colour palette, loads of fun. I love this green colour, Meadowlark. There's a name. But yeah, I managed to find that in my watercolours, so fun. Rated it 5 out of 5. And then there's this one. So this was a really, really bright colour palette. I asked my mum to pick me one, and in the colour cube, and she picked this one, which is very, very bright. I guess these are a little bit more muted on the palette, and I went for a bit more brighter colours in my watercolour sets, and I didn't enjoy this very much. I managed to make mud up here and stuff, and I don't really know. I feel like if I had another go at this colour palette, I would enjoy it a lot more, but for some reason on this day when I did this, I just wasn't really feeling it. So I love this. This is very nice because none of the colours really went muddy. I love like this area here, and obviously it's got a bit of shimmer, which looks good on there. Apart from this bit, I don't know what happened here. I think I just got a bit frustrated and decided to smush the silver all over it and ruined it. But we learn, you see, because I love this area. I did like this area, and I don't know what I was thinking, but then we got to the big one, and after I put all the colour down, I just didn't actually know where to go with this. I was feeling really lost, and I felt like I had no real place to put my marks. Like I like to put like the dots and different marks within a colour, but in this it just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. So what I did was put the black acrylic ink on. I kind of got frustrated, lifted the book up and just let it drip, and I was like, actually this looks pretty cool. So I just let it drip and did the little white dots over the dark, and this is what we got. And I didn't like any of this at first, but now that I look back, I like it. So because I learned what I like and what I don't like. And these are cute. These look like, my mum said they look like little underwater squirrels or something. This one kind of reminds me of like a little lizard climbing up. That's his little foot, these are his feet, and then this is his little tail. Like, you just can look at abstract art, and I'm not saying any of these are good or anything, but I just love how you can put all these marks down and then look afterwards and you keep seeing different things, like different little characters and different things pop out to you all the time. And I just think it's really interesting to look at. So this brings me to the final page, and this I am in the middle of working on now. So this is the colour palette that I asked. So I gave you 4 colour palettes on Instagram to choose from, and you guys voted for this one for me to use next for my next palette. And I am trying a little bit of a different style out on this page. This brings me to these, the final pieces I want to show you. So I did these on separate pieces of paper before I actually played in the sketchbook, because I just fancied doing something a little bit different and something that I could mount to put on my wall. I have been doing some of Denise Love's Skillshare classes, and this is one of her classes. So it's like little splodges of watercolour on the paper, and oh, I just love it. I love how this looks. I feel like it's almost like a little map or a little world that you could just look at for hours with all the variations of colour and marks. And yeah, I just think both of these just look really delicate and beautiful, and I really enjoyed making these. So as I'm working and experimenting more and more in the sketchbook and outside of the sketchbook, I'm realising what I'm enjoying a lot more of. And by watching other people's videos and doing some classes on Skillshare, I'm really learning what I'm loving. So we did 2 at a time, or I did 2 at a time, should I say, and I love this. I love how it looks like a love heart. And it's got the gold writing in there. It doesn't actually say anything, but I really like that. So yeah, I like these. This one got a bit warped, so I was trying to weigh it down a bit before I mounted it. But yeah, so I've got those. And then I started one on this page, down too low really, but the green liquid watercolour that I used here, and because I put so much on and then put pressure on it, it ended up going through to this page. So I started quite low, and now I'm just figuring out how to make it a bit more, you know, a bit more, what's the word that I want? Trying to make it so the composition looks proper and not like it's just too much off to the side. But I got another go here, and then I got another go here on this page. So I thought it would be fun to work on this with this colour palette with my paints here. So I've got some Kuretake colours, and also I think this is a White Nights watercolour. It's a sepia, and I've also got, this is beautiful. This is, God, this makes me happy. Look at that. It's so beautiful, this colour. It's such a, it's a pearlescent, FW De La Rowney pearlescent sundown magenta, and it's just stunning. And yeah, I want to use this a little bit more on these paintings, and I thought I would just leave you today with a time lapse of me finishing up this whole spread in the sketchbook. So that'll be it for my chatting. I will put some music on now and let you enjoy the artwork. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Please do let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed this kind of video as well. I know I'm a bit like out of breath, and yeah, it's different for me to talk as I'm, because I get so tongue twisted as well. Usually it's difficult or different for me to talk and show you what I'm doing at the same time. And I'm proud of myself. I've done it, and now it's going to make for a really easy editing process for me too, I hope. Anyway, so yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like and a comment, and don't forget to subscribe, because I'll definitely do more videos like this. And you don't want to miss out on the sketchbook tour when this is done, do you? Well, you might do, but anyway, I shall see you in the next video, guys. Bye!